Hello. Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing tonight? I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Tonight. Let's make this a weekly thing. Tonight is our Soothing Sunday. Soothing Sunday night. How was your day? How's everyone doing? I hope you are doing well. I hope you all have rested somewhat for the week ahead. Yo, Mushroom Soup. Hi, Soshi. Thank you for the lurk. Thank you for the lurk again. Yeah, so let's see here. Today we have tonight we got a couple things to do, I guess. Tonight, as mentioned, I think we can just do a little bit of book reading. Let's do a little bit of book reading, and I kind of learned my lesson from last week, so now I screen the book a little more thoroughly now. Now I screen the book a little more thoroughly, so this book is from, this book should be more cozy right now, because last week we ended up we read a book that ended up, how I put this, there was a character who was basically prostituting himself, selling his services, and that was, I don't mind those books. I personally enjoyed the character. I think the characterization was very good, but that was a little troublesome to read. I got very concerned for a moment there. Got really concerned. So I guess I will have to find. So just now on my way home from my friend's place, I popped by the library to find a book that was a little more cozy. So today's book. Today's book. There we go. Boom. William Trevor, Last Stories. I stumbled upon it completely by chance in the library, as with everything that I find in the library. It is all by chance. And well, so I did a little bit of digging before I flipped through this book. It looked cozy enough, and then I did some googling on my way back. It turns out this collection is William Trevor's it's a posthumous collection. He has So this is a posthumous collection of his short stories, like the last of his short stories. Ex Phantom Heart. Yo, Ikimen Shiraga. Hello. Hi, Phantom Hearts. Thank you for swinging by. Tonight is a cozy Sunday book reading, and I just to help soothe you all for the week ahead. Alright. Said it's not raining. You want it to rain? You want it to rain? I don't know. So how was your day? Just now, right before this, I went for a run, so I started a little late. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh, I rushed so much. I didn't even send out the live tweet. Oh my gosh. Give me one moment. I will just have to send this out. I want to sleep as well. Go and sleep. It is late. Oh my. All of you here. Don't you have work or school tomorrow? This is gonna be trouble. Isn't it bad to be up this late? Could it be that you want me to read you to sleep? Well, I don't mind. Okay. Y'all come over here, okay? Come over here. Take your phone, crank it beside you, lie down. I will not scream into the mic tonight. Tonight I will not scream into the mic. I will try not to drop the mic. Try not to step on the mic cable also. That happened once. It did not end well. So give me a moment. Once I send this out, I will be with you. So yeah, once again, I will be reading a couple of stories from William Trevor's Last Stories. So yeah, don't worry, it is more cozy than last week's. Last week's one was really troublesome. I got a little stressed. I got a little concerned. Once again, I got a little concerned. I enjoyed the characterization, but yeah. Maybe that was not exactly the best thing to have read on a Sunday night. To all of you. And I don't know, maybe next week I might throw in some ASMR also, I don't know. I may start unleashing my ASMR scripts on all of you. Self-written ones. Right, oh my gosh. Alright, shall we start? So yeah, first of all, before I start the book, okay, today I went to my friend's place. I may be a little sleep deprived. I may have been a little sleep deprived. I don't know. I just went to lie down on his bed for a bit, you know. I just lay down and then you know something, I actually dozed off. I dozed off for like, it was like 30. I think I went out for like at least 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, 30 minutes. While he was like fumbling with while he was trying to min-max his Hu Tao setup. Like when I woke up on his screen was like a Microsoft, like a Google Doc spreadsheet, and then it was like this whole table. It was this whole table with like yeah, weapon stats on there, and then they tell you which weapon is better for Hu Tao, that kind of stuff based on your current setup. Let's go. Hi Lottie, good evening to all of you. So once again, we have a cozy book here. Last Stories. This is definitely more cozy than last week's book. Last week's book was troublesome. It was troublesome AF. Let's go. Wow, this, the satisfaction of flipping the book is amazing. So in here, it is quite the collection. Let's start with the first one. The piano teacher's pupil. There's like 10 of them in here. But if you ask me to read all 10 of them, I think my throat will give up. My throat will give up by, I don't know when. I don't think my throat will last an hour. Okay. But if you okay, let me grab some water. We shall begin. Y'all please please lie down on your beds right now. Lie down and be cozy, okay? I won't scream in your ears tonight. Okay, so here goes. The Piano Teacher's Pupil. This is by William Trevor, as with everything else in this book today. Okay. The Brahms, she said. Shall we struggle through the Brahms? The boy, whose first lesson with Miss Nightingale this was, said nothing. But gazing at the silent metronome, he smiled a little, as if the silence pleased him. Then, his fingers touched the piano keys, and when the first notes sounded, Miss Nightingale knew that she was in the presence of a genius. Now in her early 50s, slender, softly spoken, with a quiet beauty continuing to distinguish her features, Miss Elizabeth Nightingale considered that she was fortunate in her life. She had inherited a house on the death of her father. She had managed without skimping on what she earned as a piano teacher. She had known the passion of love. She might have married, but circumstances had not permitted that. For 16 years, she had been visited instead by a man she believed would one day free himself from a wife he was indifferent to. That hadn't happened, and when the love affair fell apart, there had been painful regret on Miss Nightingale's side. But since then, she had borne her lover no ill will, for after all, there was the memory of her happiness. Miss Nightingale's father, a chocolatier, being widowed at the time of her birth, had brought his daughter up on his own. They became companions and remained so until his death. Although he'd never been aware of the love affair that had been conducted for so long during his daily absences from the house, that love and her father's devotion were recollections that cheered Miss Nightingale's present solitude and somehow gave a shape to her life. But the excitement she experienced when her new pupil played for her belonged to the present was fresh and new and intense. Not ever before had she sensed genius in the child. Just a little fast, she made her comment when the piece she had suggested came to an end. And remember the pianissimo. She touched the music with the point of a pencil, indicating where she meant. The boy did not respond, but smiled as he had before. His dark hair, not cut too short, was in a fringe. The skin of his face was delicate, unblemished, as pale as paper. There was a badge on the breast pocket of his blazer, a long big bird feeding its young. Oh my god. The blazer was navy blue, the badge red, all of it rather ugly in Miss Nightingale's opinion. "You'll practice it just a little slower, won't you?" she said. She watched the boy reaching for the sheet on the music stand, standing up to do so. He dropped it into his music case. "Friday again?" she said, standing up herself. "Same time?" With eagerness that might have been purely polite, but which she sensed was not, he nodded. His shyness was a pleasure. Quite unlike the endless rattling on of her more tiresome pupils. He had several music teachers before, his mother had said. Rattling on herself so fast that it was hard to understand why he had been moved from one to another. In a professional way, Miss Nightingale had inquired about that, but nothing had been forthcoming. She led the way from the room and handed the boy his cap from the hall stand ledge, the same emblem of a bird on it. She stood for a moment by the open door, watching him close the gate behind him. His short trousers made her wonder if he was cold, his knees seeming invulnerable and fragile above grey woolen socks. The blue and red of his blazer and his cap repeated on the border. He waved and she waved back. No other child was due that evening, and Miss Nightingale was glad. She tidied her sitting room, reclaiming it after the week's visitors, her own again until 10 o'clock on Monday morning, when down Francine Morphew came. Piano and sofa and armchairs crowded what space the room offered. Staffordshire figures of soldiers paraded on either side of a carriage clock on the mantelpiece. Pot lids and the framed trays of chocolate molds her father had collected decorated the walls. Among watercolours and photographs, daffodils in vases were on the sofa table and on the corner shelf near the door. When she had tidied, Miss Nightingale poured herself a glass of sherry. She would say nothing to the mother if the mother telephoned to ask how the boy was getting on. It was a secret to share with no one except the boy himself, to be taken for granted between them, not gone on about. The mother was a foolish kind of woman. When Miss Nightingale had sat a little longer, she turned on the electric fire, for the April evening was chilly now. Warmly, happily, it seemed that years of encouragement and instruction, offered for the most part to children without talent or interest, had at last been rewarded. Within this small boy, so modest in his manner, there were symphonies unwritten, suites and concertos and oratorios. She could tell, she didn't even have to think. While darkness gathered, and when her second glass of sherry had been sipped away, almost to nothing, Miss Nightingale sat for a few minutes longer. All her life, she often thought, was in this room, where her father had corseted her in infancy, where he had seen her through the storms of adolescence, to which every evening he had brought back from his kitchens another chocolate he had invented for her. It was here that her lover had pressed himself upon her and whispered that she was beautiful, swearing he could not live without her. And now, in this same room, a marvel had occurred. She felt her way through the gloom to the light switched by the door, enriched with echoes and with memories. The room would surely also be affected by this afternoon. How could it be the same? But when Miss Nightingale turned on the light, nothing had altered. It was only when she was drawing the curtains that she noticed there was a difference. The little snuff box with someone else's coat of arms on it was missing from the window table. The next Friday, a porcelain swan went, and then the pot lid with a scene from great expectations on it, and then a earring she had taken out because the clasp was faulty. A scarf, too flimsy to be of use to a boy, was no longer on its hall stand peg when she looked for it one Saturday morning. Two of the Staffordshire soldiers went. She didn't know how he did it. She watched and saw nothing. She said nothing either, and so unaffected was the boy himself by what was happening. So unperturbed by his own behavior that she began to wonder if she could be mistaken, if he could be one of her less attractive pupils who was light-fingered, or even if she had only just noticed what might have been taken from her over a period of time. But none of this made sense, and her flimsy excuses all fell apart. The rose petal paperweight was there when he began to play his Chopin preludes. It was gone when she returned from seeing him out. She wasn't a teacher when she was with him because there was so little for her to teach, and yet she knew he valued her presence, that her being an audience of one meant more to him than the comments she contributed. Could it be, she even wondered, that he held himself to what he thought of as a fee for his performance? Such childish fantasies were not unusual. She had herself been given to make-believe and pretending, but that too she dismissed, sensing it not to be true. At night, she lay awake, her distress and her bewilderment afterwards mercilessly feeding vivid dreams. In them, the boy was unhappy and she wanted to comfort him, to make him talk to her when he had finished playing his pieces. In endless repetition, she tried to say that once she had taken a chocolate from her father's special box, but she couldn't, and when awake again, she lay there in the dark. She found herself a prey to thoughts she had never had before. She wondered if her father had been all he had seemed, if the man she had admired and loved for so long had made use of her affections. Had her father's chocolates been an inducement to remain with him in his house, her selfishness dressed up? Had the man who had deceived his wife, deceived his mistress too, since deception was a part of him, lies scattered through the passion that there was? In the dark, she pushed all that away, not knowing where it came from, or why it seemed to belong with what was happening now, but always it came back, as if a truth she did not understand were casting its light over shadows that had beguiled her once. Was theft nothing much? The objects taken so small, and plenty left behind. If she spoke, her pupil would not come again, even if she said at once that she forgave so slight a misdemeanor. Knowing so little, at least she was certain of that, and often did not look to see what was no longer there. The spring of that year gave way to summer, a heat wave of parched days that went on until the rains of October. All that time, on Friday afternoons, the doorbell rang and he was there. The same silent boy who left his cap on the hall stand ledge, who sat down at her piano and took her with him into paradise. Miss Nightingale's other pupils came and went also, but among them only the boy never requested a different day, a different time. No note was ever brought by him, no excuse ever trotted out, no nuisance unrecognized for what it was. Graham talked about his pets to delay his unpracticed piece. Diana wept. Corinne's finger hurt. Angela gave up. Then smoothly in the run of time another Friday came, to take its place as a halcyon afternoon at the centre of Miss Nightingale's life. Yet each time after the boy left there was mockery in the music that faintly lingered. The seasons changed again, and then again, until one day the boy did not return. He had outgrown these music lessons and his school, and now was somewhere else. For Miss Nightingale, his absence brought calm, and time passing further quietened her unease. If a lonely father had been a calculating man, it mattered less now than it had when the thought was raw. If a beloved lover had belittled love, it mattered less in that same soothing retrospect. She had been the victim, too, of the boy who had shown off to her his other skill. She had been the victim of herself, of her careless credulity, her wanting to believe that what seemed to be all that she sensed was true, yet something still nagged. It seemed right almost that she should understand a little more. Long afterwards, the boy came back, coarser, taller, rougher in ungainly adolescence. He did not come to return her property, but walked straight in and sat down and played for her. The mystery there was in the music, was in his smile when he finished, while he waited for her approval. And looking at him, Miss Nightingale realized what she had not before, that mystery was a marvel in itself. She had no rights in this. She had sought too much in trying to understand how human frailty connected with love, or with the beauty that the gifted brought. There was a balance struck. It was enough. Okay, that was the end. That was the end of the story. How did you all find it? Hi, final 222, welcome. Such chill. Yeah, it's pretty atmospheric, I guess. It's pretty atmospheric. Oh my gosh, yeah, I guess compared to last week's, last week's one was a little triggering. There was one, it was, I still have it here actually. I actually still have it. Let me just lean over and grab it. Okay, yes, it's here. Okay, last week's one was called Beneath the Earth by John Boyne. I'm pretty sure I got your name wrong. I'm still getting your name wrong from like 1 week ago. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about this. Yeah. How I put this? The characterization for that was really dark. Yeah. There was one of them was a boy selling. It was an underage guy selling like yeah, it was really dark. There was one of them was a one. It was like I was just reading and then I was just like oh my gosh, maybe I should have screened this a little more. I should screen this a little more thoroughly, okay? Because like, yeah, one of them, I opened to one of them. It is about a guy who is like barely legal age, who is like selling like intimate services. Another one heavily implies that domestic violence. Yeah. Heavily implies domestic violence. So yeah, okay. Hi Bripion. What is Artfish level? Hi, everything's good. I went to my friend's house today for a lunch Genshin chill. I chilled a little too hard. I ended up sleeping for like I think 40 minutes. I ended up sleeping for 40 minutes at his place. But yeah, so I come in and I hear sus stuff. This one, don't worry, this one not sus. Too tired. I don't know. Maybe I guess I'm not sleeping enough. I think last night I slept at like 3. I think I slept at 2 or 3. I woke up at 9, I think. I woke up at 9. I know the day before. Or is it a comfy friend? It's not a comfy friend. My comfy friend is overseas. That's all I will say. My comfy friend is overseas. Also, it's a one-sided thing, but yeah, that's another story for another day. Right, shall we continue with the book? This is pretty atmospheric, if I do say so myself. How's everyone doing? I think you all have a long week at home. You all probably have a long week ahead at work. But yeah, hang in there, okay? Yeah, I probably sound like a broken record. I think I've said this many times, but the weekend is to recharge. Please don't stress about work on the weekends. Yeah. Some of us probably even feel trapped in in where we are right now, but hang in there. And if in the worst case scenario, I guess yeah, everyone, seriously, you come first. You yourself come first. There are many jobs out there in the world. There is only one you. Yeah. So please take care of yourselves. Please don't burn yourself out for someone else. Please don't burn yourself. I may sound a little selfish for this when saying this, but yeah, please don't burn yourself out for someone else. You yourself come first. I probably have said this a lot of times already. Over like the past I don't know how long. Yeah. Get some water. Let me drink my Douhua sweet. What are you drinking now? What if I'm happy making others happy? Well then, then that's good for you. That's good for you, I guess. I'm drinking coffee. Huh? Coffee? Huh? Wait. This is supposed to be comfy. I'm not supposed to react too. I'm not supposed to react too much. Okay. You're drinking coffee at this hour. Are you serious? I'm drinking tap water. Okay. I see. I'm drinking. I would usually be drinking tea, but yeah, tonight I'm drinking my soy milk right now. Because Watashi needs his calcium intake from somewhere. Soy milk is good. Yeah, I'm drinking soy milk because I need my calcium intake from somewhere. Otherwise, it is going to be a little troublesome down the road if I don't get enough calcium. There's a family history of osteoporosis, so I need to be a little careful. Yeah. Especially and lean milk. But yeah, I'll tell you all this, okay? I am a little picky about my food. Eh? Oh my gosh, Brie, thank you for the sub. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. There's a sub that for. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the support. Eh? Hi Green Move. Thank you. Thank you for the host. Thank you for the host. Ah. Alright. I think we shall move on to the next one. This is... By the way, one more thing. I sorry for fumbling over a number of the words. Some I don't know how to read some of the words in the book. I'm just like, huh, what is this word? And then I just quickly wing something out. But yeah, let's go. And yeah, the temptation to highlight is very strong, you know. I have this temptation to highlight. I have this temptation to just highlight the word, but like, but then no, I cannot highlight it. It's a freaking library book. No. People these days don't really read. Yeah. More like you when you go to the library, everyone goes to the library. You just see them like, yeah. I mean they're just like studying. They're just studying, like doing work. The thing about this, I mean, yeah, guys. I wonder if I'm still banned from borrowing books. Hey, do you have overdue books? That's not good. Please go pay your fines. It's like, yeah, how much do you get fined? It's got banned in National Library. Is it National Library? National Library, right? Eh? I mean, if it's your friends. Wait, if it's your friend's name, then it should be okay, since it's your friend's account. It should be okay. Yeah, just walk in, just scan your ID. I mean, that whole situation your friend is a little unfortunate, but yeah, I don't think the National Library will keep a grudge for 10 years. Just spot by and yeah, just check with them. It should be fine. I did lose a book before, like a long time ago. Like it got pushed to the bottom of my bag and then I couldn't find it. And then I had to report it lost. So I report it lost, but then they say I didn't have to pay for the book, you know. I think they just wrote off the book. They didn't actually ask me to pay for it, they just wrote it off. So after that one day I was like clearing out my bag, and then I found a book. And then I just found the book. Okay, yeah, tonight is Soothing Sunday. No cursing, no cursing. Okay, yes, Shiraga, no cursing. Okay. Hi Sharon. Sharon, tonight is comfy stream, so I have to decline your request tonight. Try again tomorrow morning. Tonight is comfy stream. Tonight is Soothing Sunday, comfy stream. But okay, fine. You already want it. Prepare a years of it, okay? I won't scream to the mic tonight. Here you go. Fine. Let's just do it. Here you go. Sonia! Thank you. Real quick. Okay. I hope you all didn't get started awake by that. Thank you. I will move on to the next book. I will move on to the next one now. I have been going in circles for a bit too long already. Let's continue. Right. Here we go. Here we go. Let me just loosen and stretch a bit. Just now, I crossed my leg for a little too long while reading that. My leg is like numb right now. It's okay. I will continue. Let's go. The next one is called The Crippled Man. Give me one moment if you don't mind. Excuse me a moment. Okay, I just shifted the mic. Okay. Right, here we go. The Crippled Man. Well, there's that if you want it. The crippled man said, "It's a long time waiting for attention. You'll need to tend the mortar." The two men who had come to the farmhouse consulted one another, not saying anything, only nodding and gesturing. Then they gave a price for painting the outside walls of the house, and the crippled man said it was too much. He quoted a lesser figure, saying that had been the cost the last time. The man who had come looking forward said nothing. The tall one hitched up his trousers. "We'll split the difference if that's the way of it," the crippled man said. Still not speaking, the two men shook their heads. "Be off with you in that case," the crippled man said. They didn't go, as if they hadn't understood. It was a ploy of theirs to pretend not to understand, to frown and simulate confusion, because, in any conversation, it was convenient sometimes to appear to be at a loss. "Who coats you are talking about?" the crippled man inquired. The tall man said they were. He was older than his companion, grey coming into his hair, but that was premature. Both were still young, in their 20s. "Will we split the difference?" the crippled man suggested again. "Two coats and we'll split it." The younger of the men, who had a round, moon face and wire-rimmed glasses, offered another figure. He stared down at the grey, badly cracked flags of the kitchen floor, waiting for a response. The tall man, whose arms hung loosely and lanky like his body, stuck at his teeth, which was a way he had. If it was 19 years since the house had been painted, he said, the price would have been less than would be worthwhile for them now. 19 years was what they had been told. "Are you polished?" the crippled man asked. They said they were. Sometimes they said that, sometimes they didn't, depending on what they had previously ascertained about the presence of other polished people in the locality. They were brothers, although they didn't look like brothers. They were not polished. A black cat crept around the kitchen, looking for insects or mice. Occasionally, it would pounce on a piece of bark that had fallen off the firewood, or a shadow. 14 days the painting would take, the younger man said, and they'd work on a Sunday. Then the cost of the work surfaced again. A price was agreed. "Notes," the tall man said, rubbing a thumb and forefinger together. "Cash." And that was agreed also. Martina drove slowly, as she always did, driving back from Kara. More than once on this journey, the old Dodge had stopped and she had to walk to Kirkpatrick's garage to get assistance. Each time, the same mechanic told her the car belonged to the antique brigade and should have been off the road for the last 40 years. But the ancient Dodge was part of Martina's circumstances to be tolerated because it was necessary, and, driven slowly, more often than not it got you there. Costigan had slid in a couple of streaky instead of back rashes, making up the half-pound he had said, although he had charged for a back. She hadn't said anything. She never did with Costigan. "Come out to the shed till we'll see," he used to say himself, and she would go with him to pick out a frozen pork stick or drumsticks she liked the look of in the shed, where the deep freeze was, his hands all over her. He no longer invited her to accompany him into the deep freeze, but the days where he used to were always there between them, and she never ate pork stick or chicken legs without being reminded of how afterwards he used to push the money back to her when she paid, and how in the farmhouse she hid it in a gold flake tin. She drove past the tinkers at the cross, the children in their rags running about, feet bare, heads cropped. The woman, whom the noise of the dodge always brought out, stared stonily, continuing to stand there when the car went on, a still image in the driving mirror. "We'll do it for 4.5, the man in Finalis had offered when she asked the price of the electric cooker that was still in the window. Not a chance, she had thought. About to be 50 and putting on more weight than pleased her, Martina had once known what she wanted, but she wasn't so sure about that anymore. Earlier in her life, a careless marriage had fallen apart, leaving her homeless. There had been no children, although she had wanted them, and often since had thought that in spite of having to support them, she might have done better if children had been there to make a center for her life. She drove through the turf box, a board Namona machine drawn up at the cuttings, an uncomfort trailer, clamped so that it would stay where it was. Nothing was going on. Nothing had changed in the cuttings for maybe as long as 9 months. The lack of activity was lowering. She considered every time she saw, yet again, the place as it had been the last time. She turned at Lark Hill, the road darkened by the trees that overhung it. She couldn't remember when it was that she had last met another car on this journey. She didn't try to, it didn't matter. The two men drove away, pleased that they had found work, talking about the man who had called out and said come in when they had knocked on the door. All the time they were there, he had remained in his chair by the fire of the range, and when the price was agreed, he had said he would go to the scullery and get a whiskey bottle. He had gestured impatiently, and when they didn't understand, lifting his fist to his mouth, tossing back his head, the fist going with it, until they realized what he meant. He was convivial then, and they noticed the glasses on the dresser and watched while he put them out on the table. They were uncertain only for a moment, then one of them unscrewed the cap on the bottle. "We heard about Poland," he said. "A Catholic people. We'll drink to the work, will we?" They poured more whiskey for him when he held out the glass. They had more themselves before they left. Who was here? Martina put the bag of groceries on the table as she spoke. The whiskey bottle was there, out of his reach, 2 empty glasses beside it, his own, empty also, in his hand. He held it out, his way of asking her to pour him more. He wouldn't stop now, she thought. He would go on until the bottle was empty, and then he'd ask if there was one unopened, and she would say no, although there was. "A blue van," she said, giving him one more drink, since there was no point in not. "I wouldn't know what colour it was," he had said. "A blue van was in the Borin. Did you get the list?" "I did." "He had visitors," he said, as if the subject were a new one. "Good boys." Martina. "Who?" she asked again. By the way, one moment. Sure07, thank you for the follow. Okay, let me get back to the book. He had wanted the list back and the receipt. With the stub of a pencil, kept specially for the purpose, he crossed off the items she took from the bags they were in. In the days when Costigan had been more lively, she had enjoyed these moments of deception. The exact change put down on the table, what she had saved, still secreted in her clothes until she could get upstairs to the gold flake tin. "Polish lads," he said. "They will paint the outside for us. 2 coats," he said. "A fortnight it would take." "Are you mad?" "Good Catholic boys." We had a drink. He asked where the money was coming from, and he asked, in turn, what money she was talking about. That was a way he had, and a way of hers invariably to question any money's source. The subject, once raised, had a tendency to linger. "What did they take off you?" she asked. With feigned patience, he explained he had paid for the materials only. If the work was satisfactory, he would pay what was owing when the job was finished. Martina didn't comment on that. Angrily, she pulled open one of the dresser's 2 drawers, felt at the back of it, and brought out a bundle of euro notes, 5 and 10s in separate rubber bands, 20s, 50s, a single 100. She knew at once how much he had paid. She knew he would have asked the painters to reach in for the money since he couldn't himself. She knew they would have seen the amount that was left there. Why would they paint a house when all they had to do is walk in and help themselves? He shook his head. He said again, the painters were fine Catholic boys. With patience still emphatic in his tone, he repeated that the work would be completed within a fortnight. It was the talk of the country, he said. The skills young Polish boys brought to Ireland. An act of God, he said. She wouldn't notice them about the place. They bought the paint in Kara, asking what would be best for the walls of a house. Masonry, the man said, pointing at the words on the tin. Outside work, go for the masonry. They understood. They explained that they had been given money in advance for material, and they paid the sum that was written down for them. Polish, are you? The man inquired. Their history was unusual. Born into a community of stateless survivors in the mountains of what had once been Carinthia, their natural language a dialect enlivened by words from a dozen others. They were regarded often now as gypsies. They remember a wandering childhood of nameless places and existence in tense and silent nighttime crossings of borders. The unceasing search for somewhere better, they had separated from their family without regret when they were, they thought, 13 and 14. Since then, their lives were what they had become, knowing what to do, how best to do it, acquiring what had to be acquired, managing. Wherever they were, they circumvented what they did not call the system, since it was not a word they knew. But they knew what it meant, and knew that straying into it, or their acceptance of it, however temporarily, would deprive them of their freedom. Survival was their immediate purpose, their hope that they might somewhere be alive that was more than they yet knew. They brought brushes as well as the paint, and white spirit because the man said they would need it, and filler because they had been told the mortar required attention. They had never painted a house before, and didn't know what mortar was. Their van was better, pale blue patched up a bit with a darker shade, without tax or insurance, although there was the usual evidence of both on the windscreen. They slept in the van, among the tools of one kind or another they had come by, with their mugs, plates, a basin, saucepan, frying pan, food. In the dialect that was their language, their older brother asked if they would spare the petrol to go to the ruins when they were engaged in making themselves a dwelling. The younger brother, driving, nodded, and they went there. Let me grab some water. I'll be back in a moment. Okay. In her bedroom, Martina closed the lid of the gold-flaked tin and secured it with its rubber band. She stood back from the wardrobe-looking glass and critically surveyed herself, ashamed of how she had let herself go. A bulk not quite obese but almost now. Her pale blue eyes, once her most telling feature, half lost in folds of flesh. She had been still in her 30s when she had first come to the farmhouse, still particular about how she looked and dressed. She wiped away the lipstick that had been smudged by Costigan's rough embracing when for a few minutes she had been alone with him in the shop. She settled her underclothes where he had disturbed them. The smell of the shop, a medley of rashes, fly spray, and the chickens Costigan roasted on the spit had passed from his clothes to hers years ago. Oh, that's the shop, she used to say when she was asked about it in the kitchen, but she didn't bother saying it anymore. They were distantly related, had been together in a farmhouse since his mother died 12 years ago and his father the following winter. It was another relative who had suggested the union, since Martina was on her own and only occasionally employed. Her cousin. Or they had agreed that they were cousins of a kind, who have otherwise to be taken into a home. And she herself had little to lose by coming to a farm where the grazing was parcelled out, rent received annually, where now and again another field was sold. Martina's crippled cousin, who since birth had been confined as he was now, had for Martina the attraction of a legal stipulation. In time, she would inherit what was left. Often people assumed that he had died. In Kara they did, and people from roundabout who never came to the farmhouse did. Talking to them, you could feel it. Martina didn't mention him herself, except when the subject was brought up. There was nothing to say because there was nothing that had become different, nothing she could remark on. He was asleep after the whiskey when she went downstairs, and he slept until he was roused by the clatter of dishes and the frying of their 6 o'clock meal. She liked to keep him to time to do what it said to do. She kept the alarm clock on the dresser wound accurate to the minute by the wireless morning and evening. She collected, first thing, what eggs had been laid in the night. She got him to the kitchen from the back room as soon as she had set the breakfast table. She made the 2 beds when he had his breakfast in him, and she had washed up the dishes. On the day she went to Karaf, she left the house at 2:15. She got in the way of that. Usually he was awake he was asleep by the range then, oh my gosh, as most of the time he was, unless he had begun to argue. If he had, it could go on all day. The post would be a nuisance about the place. She had to raise her voice because the lever on the pan was spitting. The slightest sound of dishes or cooking, the lid of the kettle rattling. And he said he couldn't hear her when she spoke, but she knew he could. He said he couldn't now, and she ignored him. He said he would have another drink, and she ignored that too. They're never a nuisance. He said, let's like that. He said they were clean. You look at them and know. He said they will be company for her. 1 month to the next, you hardly see another face, Martina. Sure, I'm aware of that, girl. Don't I know it the whole time? She cracked the first egg into the pool of fat she had made by tilting the pan. She could crack open an egg and empty it with one hand. Who each they had. It needs the pain, he said. She didn't comment on that. She didn't say he couldn't know. How could he, since she didn't manage to get him out to the yard anymore? She hadn't managed to for years. It does me good, he said, the old drop of whiskey. She turned the wireless on and there was old-time music playing. That's terrible stuff, he said. Martina didn't comment on that either. When the slices of liver were black, she scooped them off the pan and put them on their plates with the eggs. She got him to the table. He had whiskey enough, she said when he asked for more, and nothing further was said on the subject in the kitchen. When they had eaten, she got him to his bed. But an hour later, he was shouting and she went to him. She thought it was a dream, but he said it was his legs. She gave him aspirins and whiskey, because when he had both, the pains would go. Come in and keep me warm, he whispered, and she said no. He often wondered if the pains had maddened him, if his brain had been attacked, as so much in his body was. Why did they call you Martina? He asked, still whispering. A man's name, he said. Why would they? I told you the way of it. You tell me many a thing. Go to sleep now. The grass rains in. Go back to sleep. The painting commenced on a Tuesday because on the Monday there was ceaseless rain. The Tuesday was fine, full of sunshine with a soft drying breeze. The painters hired 2 ladders in Karaf and spent that day filling in where the stucco surface had broken away. The woman of the house, whom they assumed to be the crippled man's wife, brought out soda scones and tea in the middle of the morning. And when she asked them what time was best for this, morning and afternoon, they pointed at 11 o'clock and 3:30 on the older brother's watch. She brought them biscuit with the tea at exactly 3:30. She stayed talking to them, telling them that where they could buy what they wanted in Karaf, asking them about themselves. Her smile was tired, but she was patient with them when they didn't understand. She watched them while they worked, and when they asked her what she thought, she said they were good, they were as good as anyone. By the evening, the repairs to the stucco had been complete. Heavy rain was forecast for the Wednesday, and it came in the middle of the afternoon, blown in from the west by an intimidating storm. The work could not be continued, and the painters sat in their van, hoping for an improvement. Earlier, while they were working, there had been raised voices in the house, an altercation that occasionally gave way to silence before beginning again. The older painter, whose English was better than his brother's, reported that it had to do with money and the condition of the land. The pension is what I'm good for, the crippled man repeatedly insisted. Ain't I here for the few bob I bring in? The pension became the heart of what was so crossly talked about, how it was spent in ways it shouldn't be, but the crippled man didn't have it for himself. The painters lost interest, but the voices went on and could still be heard when one or other of them left the van to look at the sky. Late in the afternoon, they gave up waiting and drove into Karaf. They asked in the paint shop how long the bad weather would last, and were advised that the outlook for several days was not good. They returned the ladders, reluctant to pay for their hire while they were unable to make use of them. It was a setback. but they were used to setbacks, and inquiring again in the paint shop, they learned that a builder who had been let down was taking on replacement labor at the conversion of a disused mill, an indoor site a few miles away. In the end, the gaffer agreed to employ them on a day-to-day basis. The rain affected the crippled man. When it rained, he wouldn't stop since she was confined herself, and when they had worn out the subject of the pension, he would begin again about the saint she was named after. "Tell me," he would repeat his most regular request, and if it was the evening and he was flooded with drink, she would not answer. But in the daytime, he would wheedle, and every minute would drag more sluggishly than minutes had before. He did so on the morning the painters took down their ladders and went away. She was shaking the clinkers out of the range so the fire would glow. She was kneeling down in front of him, and she could feel him examining the way he often did. "You'll be the better for it," he said, when she would tell her about her sin. "And you will feel the consolation of a holiness. Tell me," he said. She took the ash pan out to the yard, not saying anything before she went. The rain soaked her shoulders and dribbled over her face and neck, drenching her arms and the grey-black material of her dress, running down between her breasts. When she returned to the kitchen, she did as he wished, telling him what he knew. That holy milk, not blood, had flowed in the body of Saint Martina of Rome. That Pope Urban had built a church in her honor and had composed the hymns used in her office in the Roman Breviary. That she had perished by the sword. He complimented her when she finished speaking, while she still stood behind him, not wanting to look at him. The rain she had brought in with her dripped onto the broken flags of the floor. The painters worked at the mill conversion for longer than they might have, even though the final weather had come. The money was better and there was talk of more employment in the future. In all, 9 days passed before they returned to the farmhouse. They arrived early, keeping their voices down and working quickly to make up for lost time, nervous in case there was a complaint about their not returning sooner. By 8 o'clock, the undercoat was on most of the front wall. The place was quiet and remained so, but whiffs of smoke were coming from one of the chimneys, which the painters remembered from the day and a half they had spent there before. The car was there, its length too much for the shed it was in, its rear protruding, and they remembered that too. Still working at the front of the house, they listened for footsteps in the yard, expecting the tea they had before come in the morning, but no tea came. In the afternoon, when the older brother went to the van for a change of brushes, the tea tray was on the bonnet and he carried it to where the ladders were. In the days that followed, this became a pattern. The stillness of the place had acquired was not broken by the sound of a radio playing or voices. The tea came without addition, and at varying times, as if the arrangement about 11 o'clock and 3:30 had been forgotten. When the ladders were moved into the yard, the tray was left on the stop of the door at the side of the house. Sometimes, not often, glancing into the house, the painters caught a glimpse of the woman whom they had assumed to be the wife of the crippled man they had drunk whiskey with, who had shaken hands with both of them when the agreement about the painting was made. At first, they wondered if the woman they saw was someone else, even though she was similarly dressed. They talked about that, bewildered by the strangeness they had returned to, wondering if in this country so abrupt a transformation was usual, and often to be found. Once, through the grimy panes of the upstairs window, the younger brother saw the woman crouched over a dressing table, her head on her arms as if she slept or wept. She looked up while he still watched, his curiosity beyond restraint, and her eyes stared back at him, but she did not avert her gaze. That same day, just before the painters finished their work, while they were scraping the last of the old paint from the kitchen window frames, they saw that the crippled man was not in his chair by the range, and realized that since they had returned after the rain, they had not heard his voice. Martina washed up. There are 2 cups and saucers, teaspoons with a residue of sugar on them because they had been dipped into the bowl when they were wet with tea. She wiped the tray and dried it, and hung the damp tea towel on the line in the scullery. She didn't want to sting, even to know that they were there, that they had come. She didn't want to see them, as all day yesterday she had managed not to. She hung the cups up and put the saucers with the others, the sugar bowl in the cupboard under the sink. The ladders clattered in the yard, put out of sight for the night, in case there would be a temptation for the tinkers. She couldn't hear talking and doubted there was any. A few evenings ago, when they were leaving, they had knocked on the back door and she hadn't answered. She listened for footsteps coming to the door again, but none came. She heard the van being driven off. She heard the geese flying over, coming from the water at Doe. This was their time. Once the van had returned when something had been left behind, and she had been collecting the evening eggs and had gone into the fields until it was driven off again. In the kitchen, she waited for another quarter of an hour, watching the hands of the dresser clock. Then she let the air into her house. The front door and the back doors open, as the kitchen windows were. The dwelling they had made for themselves at the ruins was complete. They had used the fallen stones and a few timber beams that were in good condition, a door frame that had survived. They had brought sheets of old galvanized iron for the roof, and found girders on the tip. It wasn't bad, they said to one another. In other places, they had known worse. In the dark of the evening, they talked about the crippled man, concerned and worried as their conversation advanced. Since the understanding about payment for the painting had been made with him, and it could easily be that when the work was finished, the woman would say she knew nothing about what had been agreed, that the sum they claimed as due to them was excessive. They wondered if the crippled man had been taken from the house, if he was in a home. They wondered why the woman still wasn't as she had been at first. She backed the Dodge into the middle of the yard, opened the right-hand back door and left the engine running while she carried out the egg trays from the house and settled them one on top of another on the floor. All of this as it always was on a Thursday. Hurrying because she wanted to leave before the man came, she locked the house and banged the car door she left open. But the engine, idling nicely, stopped before she got in the driver's seat. And then the blue van was there. They came towards her at once, the one with glasses making gestures she didn't understand at first, before she saw what he was on about. A rear tire had lost some air. He appeared to be saying he would pump it up for her. She knew, she said, it would be alright. She dreaded what would happen now. The Dodge would let her down. But when she turned off the ignition and turned it on again, and tried the starter with the choke out, the engine fired at once. Good morning. The older man had to bend at the car window, being so tall. Good morning, he said again, when she would not wound the window down although she hadn't wanted to. She could hear the ladders going up. Excuse me, the man who was delaying her said, and she let the car creep on even though he was leaning on it. He's in another room, she said, a room that's better for him. She didn't say she had eggs to deliver because they would not understand. She didn't say when you got this old car going, you didn't take chances with it, because they would not understand that either. He's quiet there, she said. She drove slowly out of the yard and she stopped the engine again. The painters waited until they could no longer hear the car. Then they moved the ladders from one upstairs window to the next until they had gone all the way around the house. They didn't speak, only glancing at one another now and then, conversing in that way. When they had finished, they lit cigarettes. Almost 3/4 of the work was done. They talked about that and calculated how much paint was left unused and how much they would receive back on it. They did no work yet. The younger brother left the yard, passing through a gateway in which a gate was propped open by its own weight when the hinge had given way. The older man remained, looking around, opening shed doors and closing them again, listening in case the Dodge returned. He leaned against one of the ladders, finishing his cigarette. Cloudy to begin with, the sky had cleared. Bright sunlight caught the younger brother's spectacles as he came round the side of the house, causing him to take them off and wipe them clean as he passed back through the gateway. His reconnoitre had led him through a vegetable patch given up to weeds, into what had been a garden, its single remaining flower bed marked with seed packets that told what its several rows contained. Returning to the yard, he has kept as close to the walls of the house as he could, pressing himself against the stucco surface each time he came to a window, more cautious than he guessed he had to be. The downstairs rooms revealed no more than those above them had, and when he listened he heard nothing. No dogs were kept. Cats watched him without interest. In the yard, he shook his head, dismissing his fruitless efforts. There was a paddock with sun on it, he said, and they sat there munching their stale sandwiches and drinking a tin of Pepsi Cola each. The crippled man is dead. The older brother spoke softly and in English. nodding an affirmation of each word, as if to make his meaning clear in case it was not. The woman is frightened. He nodded that into place also. These conjectures were neither contradicted nor commented upon. In silence, the two men remained in the sun, and then they walked through the fields that neglect had impoverished, and in the garden. They looked down at the solitary flower bed, at the brightly coloured seed packets marking the empty rows, each packet pierced with a stick. They did not say this was a grave, or remark on how the rank grass in a wide straight path from the gate had been crushed and recovered. They did not draw a finger through the earth in search of seeds where seeds should be, where flowers were promised. She wears no ring. The older brother shrugged away that detail, depriving it of any interest it might have had, irrelevant now. Again they listened for the chart of the car's unreliable engine, but it did not come. Since the painting had made it necessary for the windows to be eased in their sashes, any one of them now permitted entry to the house. This was not taken advantage of, as yesterday it would have been, this morning too. Instead, without discussion, the painting began again. Undisturbed, they worked until the light went. She will be here tomorrow, the older brother said. She will have now found the courage and know we are no threat. In the van on the way back to their dwelling, they had talked about the woman who was not as she had before, and the man who was not there. They guessed and wondered, supposed, surmised. They cooked their food and ate in uncomfortable confinement, their shreds and crumbs of unreality giving the evening shade. Neither impatience nor anger had allowed a woman who had waited too long to wait again, until she was alone. They sensed enough of truth in that. They smoked slow cigarettes, instinct directing through. The woman's history was not theirs to know, even though they were now part of it themselves. Their circumstances made them that, as hers made her what she had become. He held the whip hand because it was there for her to seize. She would see to it that still the pension came. No one would miss the crippled man. No one visited a lonely place. Tomorrow, the woman would pay for the painting of the house. Tomorrow, they would travel on. That is the end of the crippled man. Sorry. Do I actually need to read through the whole book one time before I before I start reading this on stream? What the Am I? Wait up. This. How do I put this? Oh my gosh, this is troublesome. Martina, oh my gosh, Martina. This oh my gosh, Martina. I quite like this. I quite like this writing style. You know, it's like, how do I put this? It's atmospheric. It's kind of atmospheric, and it leaves. It doesn't quite tell you everything. It tells you a lot of things, but it doesn't quite tell you everything somehow. So you have to draw your own conclusions from it and make from it what you will. Because it is so vague. The details are so vague. They don't really leave. You can't really say who did it. Yeah. You can't really say who did what. You can't really say. Yeah. Oh my. So what do you think of that? I hope you all enjoy it. I once again fumbled with a lot of the words. You here? Hi, Swashi. Hello, hello. Thanks. Thank you. How's everyone doing this week? Yeah. Let me just rest a bit. Let me eat a couple of fruits. Let me eat a couple of fruits first. It's very, yeah. This is one hell of an interesting one. It doesn't spoon feed you. You have to put your own conclusions, and the thing is that when you draw your own, you have to draw your own conclusions, and then you can't exactly tell, like, you don't exactly know what to make of it, you know. Eh? Oh my gosh! Hi Kai, thank you for swinging by. Thank you for the beats. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. How you doing? Have a great stream. Thank you. Tonight is Cozy Sunday. We are doing some book reading. Might play Animal Crossing later. Might do some midnight Animal Crossing later. Wait, Shiraga, this is a calm soothing stream. I see you just woke up. I see. That's really late. Was this a nap that lasted like 5 hours or something? Was this a 5 hour nap or something? Yeah. I went to my friend's place today. I accidentally dozed off at his place for like. I dozed off at my friend's place today. I think I was in and out for like a total of like 40 minutes. So yeah, I had to go out early after stream. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you put through the day, but yeah, rest well. I hope you had a good rest. Your body clock is buzzed. Body clock is really buzzed. Actually, all of you here now, will your body clocks be okay? All of you here, don't you all have work tomorrow? Don't you all have work tomorrow? Don't you have school tomorrow? But yeah, tonight my goal is to allow you all to sleep. So yeah, so all of you, please go to the kitchen now. Make yourself a nice soothing cup of tea. I recommend chamomile tea actually. If you have chamomile tea, that one is supposed to relax you. That's very good for you. Yeah. Don't get mint tea though. Mint tea is supposed to wake you up. Mint and ginger are wake you up. Okay, see ya. Thank you for swinging by. Alright. I think we can do one more. Let's see here. I will jump around the book a little bit. Okay. I'll jump around this book a little bit. Let's go, ikimasu. Okay. Let me just grab some water and then yeah, I will start on the third story. Okay, this one is I'm not I'm this one isn't in the sequence of stories in the book. Yeah, I'm jumping around a bit around the book. Anyway, this one is called The Unknown Girl. Okay, this one is called The Unknown Girl. Let's go, let's start. Wait, okay, before I start, one moment. Let me do something real quick. Okay. I just went to switch on the lights in my room. Reading a book in slightly dim light is not a very good thing to do. Please read in a well-lit spot. Please read in a well-lit spot. Don't worry about it. You can turn off the lights in your room and just plug in your piece. I will not scream in your ears tonight. I won't scream in your ears tonight, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Alright, let us continue. The Unknown Girl. Okay. For hardly longer than a second, the people on the pavement's edge were frozen in perfect stillness. Then, a man stepped into the oncoming traffic, both arms peremptorily raised to halt it. The driver's door of the green and yellow van that had so dramatically braked while lurching to one side now opened. A voice called for an ambulance. Saying Winston Street, someone else added, and the halted traffic was beckoned on. There is no pulse, a woman kneeling beside the figure on the ground said. But even so, a rolled-up overcoat was placed beneath the lolling head. In the double-decker bus that had been stopped and again was moving, strangers spoke to one another, staring out at the scene that had so quickly come about. The driver of the van was distressed and expostulating. The uninvolved had gathered on the tarmac surface, exchanging their versions of how the occurrence might have come about. Some, who had seen nothing, asked what had happened, and were differently answered. An ambulance came. So quickly it was commented on. A stretcher was laid down, ready for its burden. A man pushed in, causing people incorrectly to remark that he would be a doctor. A police car, dawdling until now, drew in behind the ambulance. The body was covered with a blanket on the stretcher. The ambulance doors were slowly closed. This life was over. Some day after the tragedy, in St. Winston Street, Harriet Balfour opened her front door to a stooped, frail man in clerical dress whom she did not know. He asked if she was Mrs. Balfour, and when she said she was, asked if he might speak to her. Harriet took him to her drawing room. She was in a hurry, for the mornings were her busy time, but she did not say so. In her drawing room, she offered coffee instead. A quiet beauty distinguished the middle age of Harriet Balfour, gaining something in maturity, as much as he had lost of girlhood's prettiness. Obedient to her vanity, the grey in her hair was softened in an artificial way. Her skin was daily cared for, its small ravages patiently repaired. Others were worn because they suited her. A modest manner and hesitation before putting forth a view governed youth's impetuosity now, becoming a tranquility that was attractive in itself. A son, education over, her only child, still lived with her, but widowed now. Harriet knew that one day she would be alone in the house she had grown increasingly to love, which she had come when she was rescued from a relationship that had failed. A house where she had born her child into a contentment that continued, until, too soon, her husband had died. Her attachment to the house had much to do with her devotion to his memory, and she predicted that she would not wish to move away, nor allow whatever ailments time brought to dictate or otherwise. No matter what, the past she had known here would never be less than it had been. In the rooms of the house, and in the airy garden where Komi's pears loosened every autumn, and lacy hydrangeas decorated faded brick, and blowsy Victoria roses thrive. There will always be the John Piper in the hall, the Minton in the drawing room, and waking to the wisteria of the faded wallpaper she had particularly come to know. She might have married again, but the suggestion, when more than once it was put to her, seemed absurd. Apart from love remembered, there was already enough in Harriet's life. She listened to music, took pains with cooking, gardened, kept up with friends. In Italy, the early and mid-Renaissance delighted her. In France, the Impressionists did. She read the novels that Time's esteem had kept alive, and judged contemporary fiction for herself. No, not coffee, thank you. The clergyman declined her hospitality. He apologized for disturbing her, then explained why he had come. Your name and address were on the cleaner's work list. He gave the cleaner's name. Yes, Emily Vance came here, Harriet agreed when she heard it. She doesn't anymore. She hasn't for quite a while, 9 or 10 months. Emily Vance died, Mrs. Balfour, tragically in a street accident. Harriet, who had not sat down, did so now. My God, how terrible, she said, and at once felt embarrassed because she had expressed herself in language unsuitable for a clergyman to have to hear. But he was unperturbed. I do not seek to involve you, Mrs. Balfour, he said. It's simply that nothing appears to be known about that girl, little more than her name. He had realized when he heard about the accident that this might be a person who had sometimes come to his church, though never to a service, he said, which made it seem as if the reason for her coming was simply to be alone. He had been told by the police when he made inquiries that she had lived in the flat of a foreign couple above a stationer's shop in Carmona Street. A note of the address was found on a library card in the handbag that was afterwards picked up where he had fallen. Carmona Street's not in my parish, he said, but even so it was my church she came to, perhaps because it is out of the way and ill-attended. I went to see the foreign couple. I felt I had to. In the 4 years Emily Vance had been their lodger, they told me she had had no visitors, had not once used the telephone, received no letters, and listening, I realized that this was indeed the girl who had found some kind of sanctuary in the corner of a shadowy pew in the church. The clergyman introduced himself then, apologizing for not doing so before, giving a name that sounded like Malfrey. He was older than Harriet had first thought, and she felt sorry for him, a thankless task imposed upon him because there was no one else. Sanctuary, she repeated his word, since she hadn't understood its implications at the time. Well, yes, I think so. The couple in Carmona Street asked me if I would conduct her funeral. But of course, there will be a family somewhere, and I've been trying to find out what might be known from the people she cleaned for. Of course, I understand, but all I can tell you is that Emily wasn't the kind to talk about herself, which you may have guessed already. She did the work well, better than most. But it did occasionally cross my mind that it was strange she should be a cleaner. I used to think she had fallen on hard times. Yes, there was apparently that feeling. She left us and that was that. One morning, she simply didn't come. I'm sorry to bring all this to you, Mrs. Balfour. The slow clerical enunciation went on a bit. The address of a church, the Church of St. John the Evangelist, was given, and then the date and the time of the funeral. But how did it happen? An accident? Harriet asked when they both stood up. She led the clergyman back through the hall while he repeated at second hand what had been described to him. The driver of a van, delivering flowers it was thought, had denied negligence. The proprietor of a betting shop had been about to cross the street also, but the pedestrian light had changed to red. The girl had gone on, he said, not waiting, as he and everyone else had. The van had been in the traffic filter and had come unexpectedly, and perhaps too fast. But in spite of someone saying afterwards that there was drink on the driver's breath, it was generally felt that he could not be blamed. It had almost seemed deliberate, the betting shop proprietor had said, the way the girl hadn't waited for the light to change. I'm sorry, the clergyman apologized. I have distressed you, Mrs. Balfour. It doesn't matter. Thank you for coming. Harriet wished he hadn't. All that morning, doing the weekly stint at the Oxfam shop, she wished he hadn't. Sorting books that had recently been left, she put aside Around the World in 80 Days to read sometime to the old man of the soldiers and sailors home. She listened to Miss Chantry bringing her up to date on the brother-in-law's angina. She arranged for shoes and garments of no use to anyone to be disposed of, but increasingly she felt haunted by the spare elderly features of the clergyman who had briefly been an awkward presence in her drawing room. He had said that Emily Vance had always paid the rent promptly where she lived, that she came and went so quietly she was hardly noticed, that she was no trouble. After she left the Oxfam shop, and with time on her hands, Harriet had coffee in Cafe Nero before she began the long walk back to her house. Emily Vance had been the special person, often she had thought so. Dark-haired and sombre, as quiet as the clergyman described, she had been attractive in an unaffected way. Her delicate features arranged in an oval that made the most of them. Conscientious as an employee, she had been a godsend to. Yet, without a word beforehand or a note sent afterwards, she had one day not come back. Timing her lunchtime boiled egg, brown bread sliced toasting, Harriet remembers searching, bewildered for an explanation and deciding that nothing she found was entirely likely. She had banished conjecture then, since it was no more than that, and offered nothing. But today, while listening to Miss Chantry's passing on the newest details on her brother-in-law's angina, and in the Cafe Nero, and now the same conjecture nagged, it sourced the contents of a moment. One moment. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't working before. It is working now. Okay. She had been on the way downstairs. In the hall, Emily Vance was washing the towels. Stephen, passing, tiptoeing across the wet floor. No glance that Harriet had seen had been exchanged by the two. No words, no gesture. But Emily Vance, who did not often smile, had smiled when again she was on her own, as if recalling a moment of pleasure. There was no more than that, but still Harriet had wondered, and wondered now more than she had before. Only weeks had passed before her cleaner had failed to come back. She told herself, as she had then, that she was being fanciful. Deception was not Stephen's way, and surely it was straining speculation to assume that, as well as a clandestine relationship, there had been a quarrel that brought it to an end, that her son, unlike herself, had been careless in what he had said. Anxiety played cruel tricks, she sensibly reminded herself. It was still early, not yet 3, when she began to read another chapter of Bill Guest to the old man of the soldiers and sailors home. Afterwards, she stayed with them for a little longer because they liked to talk about what they had heard, or simply liked to talk and reminisce. It was then, while listening to their memories, that the nagging began again. It would go, she thought, but it didn't. While she waved goodbye to the little group that had formed. The afternoon was fine, pale April sunlight glancing off shop window glass and the facades of houses, dipping into trim front gardens. But before Harriet reached the common, which was the pleasantest part of the walk, she changed her mind about going home immediately and waited for a bus that went in the opposite direction. It took her ages to find Carmona Street, but when she did, she saw the stationer's shop at once and was told the stairs to the flat above it were through a storage room at the back. She hesitated then, among stacks of packaged paper and cardboard boxes in piles and jars of glue, and chalk and ballpoint pens, tied up waste bags. People talking, she said to herself. No more than that it would have been. People saying anything, adding something extra to the drama that had so suddenly happened. The clergyman had been cautious, not stating in any certain way that Emily Vance had taken her life. Up there is what you want. Appearing suddenly, the man who had directed her to the back of the shop pointed at uncarpeted stairs. The smell of food recently cooked drifted down to them. Harriet nodded and went up as she was directed. They did not sit down. The man, who was thin and small with pallid features, kept turning away, a wiry jerkiness about his movements. The woman was small too, with bushy grey hair falling to her shoulders. She had the rooms, the woman said, 2 rooms, the door between them. the bathroom she could use. Harriet was shown the table on which Emily Vance's handbag had been examined by people who came after the accident. Police it was who emptied the handbag there. No need they should do that, the woman said. The man added that Emily Vance had said she was a cleaner of people's houses when first she came to ask about the rooms. A silence completed these revelations, and then Harriet said, "There has apparently been talk about whether or not your lodger took her life. Do you think perhaps she did?" That brought no comment, except again, that they did not know, that they were not there, that they had witnessed nothing. One and then the other said it. But as Harriet was leaving, the door held open for her. She was told that in all the time Emily Vance had lived in the two rooms, she had not ever sat with them in the evening, not even once. They spoke about this inadequacy together too, one speaking, then the other, their disappointment shared. "Such a thing on the street," the woman said. In her kitchen, Harriet lifted down plates to be warmed in the oven later and her heavy blue casserole dish. She assembled what otherwise she needed for her cooking and opened wine. She chopped up parsley, washed celery stalks and mushrooms, measured out a cup of rice. Smoke curled for a moment from the oil she heated. She seared the meat she had sliced. She poured out cream and turned on the machine that whipped it for her. Her own confection of apricots and cointreau had earlier been prepared. It surely could not have been much, she thought, whatever there had been, if there had been anything. Nor was there any reason why she should imagine otherwise just because of today. The clergyman expected her to attend the funeral, and she would, for his sake, because he had come quite a long way, because he was doing his best. But even so, Harriet wished she hadn't brought him to the drawing room and allowed him to get going. She should have kept him at the door the way you had to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. She wished she had done that. Dvorak was on the radio when she turned it on, and with time on her hands, for she had got it on so well, she sat down and listened to it. The last movement ended just before her son called out from the hall, saying he was back. What kind of a day? Fat-haired and lanky, Stephen carried their two heated plates with their casserole to the dining room. Harriet followed with rice and broccoli. "Oh, nothing much," she said. There had been the shopping, her visit to the old man, and walking back across the common in the evening. He didn't mention anything else. "How good you are to people." Softly spoken, Stephen sounded like his father, who had often said Harriet was good. They both remembered that, and Stephen smiled, as if they had said more. Harriet shook her head, which had been her response to the compliment in the past. "I like this chicken," Stephen commented, pouring more wine for both of them. Several times in the course of the day, Harriet had wondered about mentioning the clergyman's visit. Before she finished in the Oxfam shop, she had begun to think she wouldn't, and had thought so again later, and later still, after she had been to Carmona Street. She knew it would be more interesting to recount her day more fully, as usually she did, to pass on the bad news it had brought. "There's money in a drawer," the woman in Carmona Street had said, "would do for a funeral." But at dinner, they talked of other matters, easily lightly, for conversation was never difficult, and this evening, as on other evening, an undemanding affection one for the other made their relationship more than it might have been. The closeness came naturally, neither through obligation nor for a reason that was not one of feeling. And it was never said, but only known, that different circumstances, coming naturally also, would change everything. They lived in a time being, and accepted that. In the kitchen, they shared the washing up, and Stephen laid the table there, ready for breakfast. He had achondroplasia to read up on, he said, and tonight he would rather do that than watch television or whatever. His father had been a pediatrician. He was to be one himself. Sir Felix had his work to do, and was willing to do it, as far as such willingness could go with him. Harriet slept then, taking Sir Felix and his work with her. The page opened on her pillow. A moment later, her book fell and woke her. Leaving it where it was, she turned the light off. And Stephen, finishing with achondroplasia an hour later, stretched and yawned, undressed and washed and went to bed. He slept at once. There was no movement then in the house that once Emily Vance had cleared. No mice crept about, for what mice there had eaten unwisely all that had been left up for them and were no longer left alive. No would-be burglar tried the windows. No cats came to the garden, careless of the broken glass that crowned its high walls. Nor was the spectre of Emily Vance anywhere, neither in the house nor in the garden, where she had so often been urged to sit in the sun for her coffee, to pick the lily of the valley when it was profuse, and daffodils before they dropped. Emily Vance was not in dreams and came back only with the light of dawn, alive in Harriet's memory as yesterday returned. But what had yesterday attracted unease and doubt was calmly presented now, and Harriet was calm herself. She did not fret. With a precision free of apprehension, she saw again her cleaner kneeling in the hall, a sodden cloth completing her washing of the red and black tiles. The front door banged as Stephen left the house, and this morning it seemed to Harriet that what she had witnessed, more likely than a secret concealed, was the shyness of undeclared love. And she imagined her cleaner delighting in the pinned-up photographs on the walls of Stephen's bedroom, and in his bedside books, and the reproduction he had framed himself of Bonnard's boats, the postcard portrait of Anna Akhmatova, his pop singer fish that sang a song. His shirts and ties were stroked, his pillow smooth, his overcoat settled on its hanger. How often had the heady thrill of his voice, his laughter, come from somewhere else in the house, and been the moment of the day? How often was the cup he had drunk from washed up last, so precious was the unseen imprint of his lips. These snatches of illusion crowded Harriet's consciousness, and though touched by death because death had come, they offered a consolation that continued. She was right to say nothing, for why should Stephen bear a burden that was not his to bear? She slept again, more deeply than before, and woke up at 7. The air was cold in the garden when she walked there, the early morning noise of a city muffled. She tidied a flower bed, picked the last of the double-headed narcissi, and brought them to the kitchen. There would be a funeral. The episode would end with that. Water break? Water break. Hi Yuri. Good evening to you. You're up late. Hope your week was good. All of you here. Hope you are doing well. Okay, let me grab some water and then I think we can continue. Alright, let's continue. Thank you. Thank you again for coming tonight. An organist played Bach, and then there was silence. The clergyman who had broken the news of the death to Harriet spoke old-fashioned words that still were beautiful, and she knew that was why they had been chosen. She had come to the funeral not only because she had felt it was expected of her, but because she expected it for herself. In the church, there were 2 other women, each on her own, found no doubt as she had been found. The couple from Kamuna Street were there. For 1,000 years in sight, Abba as yesterday, as soon as thou scatterest them, they are even as asleep, and fade away suddenly like the grass. Beautiful as the words were, they seemed not to be long. A week had passed since the clergyman's visit, but time, accumulating, had contributed nothing, neither to the lives there had been, nor to the death. And in this place, which isolated the spiritual and honored in, no truth began. In the morning, it is green and growth up, but in the evening it is cut down, dried up, and withered. All our days are gone. We bring our years to an end, as it were a tale that is told. The voice echoed, the name at last was spoken. In a whisper at the door as Harriet entered the church, she had been asked if she was aware of another given name, but she knew only Emily, and so that alone was used. In the midst of life, we are in death. Thou knows, Lord, the secrets of our hearts. No hymn was sung, there was no eulogy, and the coffin remained when the service ended later to be conveyed to the crematorium. Thank you for coming. In the awkward pause there was outside the church, the old clergyman said the same to everyone. You'll take a little tea with me? Half-heartedly he invited. The two women, who were also on their own, apologized for their presence. Each of them murmured her appreciation of the service. The couple from Carmona Street went away quickly. A limping sexton carried out the flowers. It was too little, the clergyman said. His name was on the board in front of the church, gold letters on black. The Reverend C.R. Malfrey. Too slight, too empty. No, not at all, Harriet assured him. I wish I had found a family. Slowly, he led her amongst the graves. He was white, he was widowed. Harriet thought. There were all the signs of that. On his own in some shabby rectory, managing as best as he could. She left a few books behind, he said. Her clothes were given to charities, but the books were left. I said I would take them. We have a book sale every autumn. The coffin was being removed from the church. Harriet knew this was why she had been led away. No voices reached them where they walked. A door of whatever vehicle was there closed softly, and then another one did. Summer that year was fine and warm. September began well, then was wet. October cold. In late November, Harriet gave birth to celebrate Stephen's 26th birthday. Afterwards, in the early hours of the next day when everyone had gone, she and Stephen restored the rooms which more than 100 people had disordered. Doing so, they talked about their guests, most of them of Stephen's generation, and in the kitchen, Harriet washed up cutlery and glasses. Stephen dried and put away. They were in the drawing room again, plumping out cushions, finding what they had overlooked, when Stephen said, Do you remember Emily Vance, one of the cleaners? In the months that had passed since the funeral, there had hardly been a day when Emily Vance hadn't come into Harriet's thoughts. When the clergyman had led her into the graveyard, the first drops of a shower had begun to spatter the tombstones. He had been inadequate. You always know he had been, he said, as, unseen by both of them, the unknown girl was taken from the church where she had found peace. And Harriet then had felt inadequate too. The fire in the drawing room had long ago died down, but even so she put a fire guard in place. They should go to bed now. There wasn't much of the night left. When you were out, we often were alone, Emily Vance and I, Stephen said. The stem of a glass had broken off, and Harriet watched him feeling where he had fallen for the dampness that would become a stain on the carpet. Finding nothing, he said the glass must have been empty. He thought it was kind of you to let her have her coffee in the garden when it was fine. Sometimes I had mine there too. She was a lovely person. In the kitchen, he dropped the broken glass into the waste bucket beneath the sink. Empty bottles crowded by the draining boards. A blue cardigan, left behind by someone, was draped over the back of a chair. She doesn't know the names of flowers, Stephen said, not a single one. We walked about the garden and she would ask, and I would tell. Harriet said that they had done enough for one night and ran the hot water in the sink, brushing it round the sides to leave it clean. In the hall, there was a scarf they hadn't noticed on the floor, left behind too. The telephone was off the hook. Stephen put it on again. Emily Vance died, Harriet said on the stairs, because it had to be said now. I should have told you. I'm sorry. Stephen shook his head. He asked about the death and didn't flinch when he was told. Was not surprised. She talked to me for a bit. He said, not that it was easy for Emily Vance to talk to anyone. She loved you. Stephen opened his bedroom door, turned on the light. It was a room that never changed. What was there he had chosen carefully, had taken nothing away, had added nothing. It was like that, which Harriet knew and he did not. Standing with him in the open doorway, she heard a denial of what she had said. His voice was empty of emotion, as if already he was a consultant in the hospital. A child ran off from fear. A father promised. An acquiescent mother promised too. But still the child ran off to search for strength in her concealment of herself, not ever to return, not ever to be found. She said it in the garden, in a matter-of-fact way of someone who cleans your house for you. She listened to my optimism that all this was over for her now, forever now. We spoke of love. She smiled a little. A gentle, lonely smile. She did not say, and yet it was said, that in the rooms of a quiet house, when she tried to love, she could not love. And when she tried to hope, she could not hope. We walked together, silent in the garden, and then she went away. In her bedroom, sitting by a window that overlooked the garden, Harriet wished she didn't know. She wished that what she had dreaded had happened instead, ordinary and understandable. The last of night clung on, a misty light, not yet enough to bring back shape and colour. The pear tree's blossom was elusive, tulips not their stately self, Aquilegia not there at all. Sunshine in its time would rescue ceanothus, and lilac in its corner, wallflowers, and doronicum. Shadows moved, not in the garden, 3 people, 1 a child. The rooms of a house were comfortable and unassuming. Books in a bookcase, a telephone in the hall. Food was cooked and clean. Dinners everywhere and warmth. What use is anger? Stephen had murmured as he closed his bedroom door, his professionalism at last affected by the distress that now was shared. Between the childhood and the death, there was a life that hadn't been worth living. The scarlet tinge of early peonies came suddenly, room's yellow brightness, pink clematis, rosemary thriving. A chaffinch perched and waited. A blackbird looked about. Harriet wept, and through the blur of her tears, the beauty that had spread in her garden, and was spreading still, was lost in distortion. You watched it returning, becoming again resplendent, more ever than it had been. But in a world that was all wrong, it seemed this morning to be a mockery. That is the end of The Unknown Girl. How did you all find this? How did you all find this? I hope you all enjoyed this. Oh my gosh, okay. I hope you all enjoyed this the book reading stream, although it was just 3 stories. I suspect that if I continue reading like this, my throat is not gonna hold out anymore. My throat is seriously not gonna hold out anymore if I keep it out like this. I will... Okay, what shall we do now? What shall we do now? It's already up. Let's do this every Sunday for a while. I think we can roll with it. Yeah. I don't think I'll be ending the stream quite yet though. I feel like doing some. Yeah. Let's just chill a little more. Although for all of you here, if you are, it is way past your bedtime. It is a new working week. It's way past your bedtime. But yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I currently have no plans at the moment. So yeah. A moment, let me just. Lord, I've been using my throat for like almost like 1 hour 40 minutes plus. Looks like I cannot read like on end for this. But it's okay. It's okay. As long as my throat holds up, I will try. I will continue. It does feel really tired now though, oh my gosh. Can you give me a moment? I may need to pop a throat lozenge. Yeah, I need to pop, okay, I need to pop a throat lozenge. I didn't, I bought one throat lozenge a couple. I thought I bought my lozenges a couple days back. Where is it? Where did I place it? I seriously, where did I put it? I know I put my throat lozenge somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? I'll give you a moment. I should calibrate. Let me just do this again. Let me just okay, sorry. I cannot find my throat lozenge. Ah, wait, oh yes, wait, I saw it, it's here. I found it here. Okay, I have decided I will be doing I'll be doing some and I'll just run around in Animal Crossing. Just to run off the night, so yeah, I hope you'll continue to have a good time here. Once again, all of you here, thank you so much for stopping by. Bree, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub. Kai, Marichi, thank you for the beats. Yep. Do you think I play too much Animal Crossing? Actually, nah, just kidding. There can never be too much Animal Crossing, everyone. Tonight's a windy night in Animal Crossing. Also, I forgot to sell my fish. I think, you know what, I'm just gonna dunk it in the storage. Oh yeah, but wait, I just remembered, I forgot to talk to KK Slider to get my free song for the day. Oops, oops. Okay, oh well, oh well. Do I sell something? Let's just play hard mode and sell. Yeah, let's just play hard mode. Let's sell this, guys. Title. Okay, hi Agnes. Hello, good evening. What are you still doing up, everyone? This is a question that I ask any of you that are still here right now. Especially when you have work tomorrow. Oh right. The ball item. Sigh, I guess I'll take a walk around the museum. Okay, let's just look at how far our museum has come. And here is Blooders, the night owl. Not sleeping for once. Because he's a night owl. Like all of us here. Wait, the water bug is there, the giant water bug is there. I don't really like looking at that. I will avert my gaze from it. Diving beetle. Oh my god, I'm not looking at that. I seriously am not looking at that. On skater, there we go, nice. The tiger beetle is here. Man face stingbug. Honeybee. Tiger beetle. Mantis. Stingbug. Ubins. Huh? No. Is there no donation here? Okay, that's interesting. Violin beetle. Banded dragonfly, dimsel fly, great dragonfly, banana dragonfly. I remember the banded dragonfly being super hard to catch. That was so long ago. Oh yeah. Ugh. Trying to jump scare you. Trying to jump scare you. Did I not catch the violin beater? Eh? Did I not catch and donate the violin beater? Okay, I have to check. I have to check this. I thought I donated the violin beater. No, I didn't. I didn't. I feel like yeah, every, every different part of the exhibit has a slightly different instrumentation. I can't see the tarantula. What's this? Oh, the hermit crab. This is the locust. The mole beetle, the mole. Actually, what's the mole cricket? Yes, the mole cricket is here. Bean. Mosquito, flea, paper kite butterfly. There's a random moth here also. Okay, let me just get back out. Oh, I was here already. Alright, tomorrow I need to remember to check my turnip prices. Even just go in, just check my turnip prices. There's still some fossils that look incomplete. I think, yeah. There's one at the back that doesn't seem complete. Is this complete? Okay, yeah, they look complete. Archelon, I think, yeah, I think they look complete. This one look complete. This one isn't complete. What's this? The Metrodon. I think it's, yeah. This is missing one head, I think. Coprolite. Pachycephalosaurus. Yeah, okay, I think that one is finished already. That one, I think you're left with a couple more parts. I think you're left with just a couple more parts. Yeah. Let's keep digging. You see the meteor up there? This meteor was sent down by Zhongli, causing the extinction of all dinosaurs in the world. Killifish. Goldfish. Eye goldfish. This is a run through code goldfish you caught today. I caught a guppies long ago. Okay. Hike. Snapping turtle. I feel like there's some fish up here that we are missing though. Yeah, somehow. I don't know what I'm missing, really. Okay, I tell you what. Let's go fish in the river tonight. Tonight we fish in the river. I'm gonna go dig some clams and then we are gonna go river fishing. Yep. Ah, okay. Normal. Okay, okay. Nihi. Oh, yeah, still. Yeah, hi Nihi, you're up late. I just did some book. I just did a book reading. I just did some book reading earlier, so now, yeah. Now I just popped a throat lozenge. Now I'm chilling in some Animal Crossing. Good evening to you, by the way. You're up very late. You're up very late. It is way past your bedtime. Do you not have work tomorrow? I don't usually see you up at this hour, I think. Yeah, to my yeah. But yes, I'm still awake. I'll be running around for a bit. Sunday nights have become Sundays have become my soothing stream days, where I just read a random, where I just find a book to read on stream. So yeah, fortunately today's book was a little more cozy than last week's. Yep. I think I'll make it a weekly thing from now on. Okay, Flexi, I see. Although reading for like 1 hour plus really does it is really tiring on your throat. I do not exactly have the best speaking technique, I think. Yeah, I don't exactly have the best speaking technique. You sound a bit tired. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Do I sound like tired? Really, I do. Okay. I guess I did sleep for like. Just now I went to my friend's place. I actually dozed off for a bit. I slept like And I went to my friend's place. I think I just lay down a bit, and then I think I was out for like 40 minutes. I was out for like 40 minutes, in and out, 40 minutes. Wait, where's my clan? Oh yeah, I'm good. You take care of work, okay? You take care of work, yeah? Where is my clan? Where is my clan? I hope you enjoyed your 2 streams today as well. Nice, that's good, that's good. Oh, wait, off the top, I don't know what was Project Winter. I cannot remember the other one right now, but the second one you had was Project Winter, right? Ah, Project Winter. L4D. There's Animal Crossing, yeah, Animal Crossing. Book reading is done. I decided to run around late night in my town tonight. Hi Sure07, thank you for the follow earlier as well. Top of the evening to you, Liner says, as it is like technically very early morning. Getting sleep. Okay, rest well. Please have a good week ahead. Please have a good week ahead. Yeah. My chat here. All you night hours here. How are you all doing? Hi. Okay. Splash. Yukina, hello. Hi Yukina. Good evening to you. Thanks for swinging by again. How goes the mahjong? And everything else. Let me guess, you dealt into someone's super expensive hand again. What's happening? Are you dealing into the closed hand, or are you dealing into open hands or closed hands most of the time? Okay, Yukina, you'll get better. You'll get better with time. Sometimes you have to tear apart a winning hand just to not deal in. It is painful, but it happens. Oh, my rod broke. What's it here? Yeah, there you go, got it. I defended so well. But there's a but there, isn't it? Or was it the unfortunate situation where you defended but couldn't win anything, so your points ended up getting eroded away by like the other people winning with their 自摸? 自摸啊，自摸呀！诶。Wait, oh yeah, this was a balloon that we shot down earlier. No. Has there always been a rock here? Has there always been a rock here? Eh? 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 Okay, I don't know. I suddenly cannot remember. But let me just knock it a couple of times. Wait, I want that. Not a common theme that I've been seeing this week. I don't know. Everyone is really sick of their jobs. Yeah. I think the past year has not been good for us lah, mentally. The past year has really not been good for us. The past 12 months. Like I'm just here. I'm just sit here talking to all of you, and then I noticed something. A lot of you all are leaving your jobs. A lot of you all a lot of you are like me, you know, and yeah, just up and leave your job. There's nothing wrong with that. I just realized there's been a lot of people are doing this of late. Y'all please take care, okay? Please take care. I'm glad y'all are prioritizing your own happiness. Okay, if y'all are all of you out there who are searching for a job, may everything go well with all of you. May everything go well. Next week also I need to probably look through a couple. I need to probably send out some more applications. No one is getting back to me at all. No one is getting back at all. Oh my gosh. I may actually need to get a part-time job to type things through. Like my money doesn't exactly drop from the sky. My savings are plenty, but they won't last forever, and they won't last forever, and they won't last a massive shock also. And we have to build a staircase for Drago real soon. I kind of built the land without a staircase. I was not expecting him to move in so quickly. My shovel. My shovel also, are you serious? Okay, shop. Shovel, there we go, nice. Keep crafting. Fish bait is one item that needs bulk crafting. Really, bulk crafting? Oh my lord. Yeah. Hi. I made some fish bait. You trying to show off every single fish bait you made. Just give me my fish bait. I want to go up to the river and start fishing. I feel like they are river fish. Yes, thank you. Like no. Let's go for more clam digging. Oh yeah, a lot of people are really leaving their jobs these days. Oh my gosh. Gone are the days where people just find one job and stick with it for like the rest of their lives. Now that I think about it, how the heck do my parents' generation like do that? Doesn't it get stale? Doesn't it get stale? Yeah. Next week is back to searching. I send out. I have a couple of outstanding applications. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, don't worry about it. I will handle my finances. Best. Thank you. I should dig more clams. Okay, yeah. I kind of want to hear the 2 AM music. I'm going to run around until I hear the 2 AM music. In the meantime, let's just dig up more clams and make more fish bait, and then we go up the river to fish. There is one entire section in my museum that does not have any fish. So I wonder if we need to like catch more fish and change that. Ah, it's full. Let's craft. Here we go again. Okay. Anyway, until I find a job, until I get a job or land something, I guess I'll keep all you working folks company in the afternoon. In the afternoons. That's of course if you, but of course everyone please make sure you don't get into trouble for watching my streams on during office hours, of course. Yeah, please don't get into trouble for that. Am I done? Alright. Let me go sell. I'm going to drop off the fishes in the box, and then I almost scared the beetle away. Hi, you're looking beautiful. Real beautiful. There's one thing more beautiful than this beetle, and that's the bells that will be coming in the next day. Please forgive me, Watashi is a bit money face. Oi, 回来 come back. Okay. Basket pack. Eh? What's that? Also, yeah, just now before this stream, I went for a late night run also. So I went for a late night run. Yeah. I was rusty as always. But it's okay. It's for a more active lifestyle. I feel like it's very easy to lapse into a sedentary lifestyle the moment you start work. Okay, out of curiosity, how much is this jewel beater? Oh, this is quite valuable. So yeah, most of the fishes add just a little, and most of them add just a little, and then this one just straight away says the balance flying straight up. Nice, nice. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna go upriver. Upstream, I mean. Upstream, upriver. It's the same thing, right? Is it the same thing? It is, right? This place will be a godsend in a certain game with an icy mountain. A certain game that I always play with an icy mountain, yes. Okay, I think the lack of sleep is catching up to me. I may have slept it off for a bit in the afternoon due to the unintentional nap at my friend's place, but yeah, it is. I think it is starting to wear off. I should call your night soon. All of you call your night soon also. I had a good time reading to all of you. Next week I will also start unleashing ASMR scripts on all of you. Are we only going to catch cushion cups here tonight? Really? Seriously, 讲真的 you for Huh? Is this seriously a cushion cup? This isn't that much better. Also, I see another feature. Okay, nice. Bite. Don't give me this. Don't give me this. Yeah. Okay, this is looking big. Nice. It looks big enough to be a black bass. I'm calling it, it's a black bass. There you go. Freaking hell, this game. If you see a large shadow, it's probably like a sea bass or black bass, depending on where you fish. If it's a small shadow, it's probably going to be like a crucian carp. Ah, wait. Don't run away. Nice. Oh, what's this? I caught a cherry salmon. Okay, this is a new fish. Nice. You what? Wait, what? You okay? Wait. I'm literally beside the water body. You go. Let's go. Come on. A shadow this size looks like a crucian carp. I'm calling it already. It's a crucian carp. But it could be something bigger. It could be something bigger. With expectation comes disappointment. Again. I don't hear this 2 AM music often. Mostly cause I haven't been playing Animal Crossing that much of late. At 2 AM. Ooh, another one. Okay. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Oh. Eh? Come on. Give it to me. Nice. Let's go. Okay. Loach. Is there any rare fish that I should be looking out for? Is there any rare fish that appears at this time? Am I just barking up the wrong tree? Or rather, am I dipping in the wrong place? Am I dipping my feet in the wrong place? Oi. Oh, wait, what the shit? It got away. Huh? Okay, got you. Ah, another cushion cup. This is my last fish bait. After this, I think it's more clamming, more digging of clams. Okay, nice. I am going to sell everything. Do I have this? Ah, orange, you happy for me? No, I'm happy. I'm happy for you, but I'm not happy for the pun. That was like Nihi tier. That was like Nihi tier pun. Ah wait, I thought you didn't see but the Liao I did. Okay, okay. But yeah, Nihi is like Nihi has an endless supply of dad jokes and like puns. I have made it a point to sigh at any pun that he makes. I made it a point to just like go sigh. Da, 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 da. Oh, curiosity. How much for this? Oh, it's not expensive. I see, I see. In other words, my entire haul is pretty cheap. Yes. But the salmon is new, so I will at least donate one to the museum. Da, da, da. Okay, nice. Are there any clams? No, no clams really. Yes, there's a fish here. Oh, squid. Wait a minute. Hi. Agnes, this reminds me. How would you like to try this that I shot down from a balloon? Whoa. It's a work shirt. Bam. Eh? Oh! What's this? Sunday night, and they are really reminding these wipers on Sunday night. They remind you of your existing commitments in a not so roundabout way. Can I help you with anything else? No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. I'm eating some fruits, by the way, from like yesterday night. And by yesterday, I mean they were cut on Saturday night. But it's not a new day until I sleep and wake up. So I call it yesterday, even though it's like 2 days ago. Oh, yeah. Okay, done. Okay, tree branch. Okay, nice. I actually haven't found my furniture tree yet. Should I go and shake and find the furniture tree? Since I'm shaking out the tree already, might as well, right? Truth be told, the furniture tree could even be one of these 2 trees that I planted here. For the sake of aesthetics. Money. Okay, this is nothing. Maybe I should have planted fruit trees, right? I should have planted fruit trees. Fruit trees won't spawn furniture. Have I caught this beetle? Oh yes, I have. It's the... yeah, okay, nice. Hi Opal, I will move your house like soon. How are you doing? Snoot? What? Where? What? You doze off. Nature was so relaxing you fell asleep. Okay, oof, nice. Oh, spider. I can't catch it because of the fence. Ah, oh well. Furniture tree. Where's my furniture tree? Might have too many trees in town. Ah, here? No, here? If you think about it, the villager is like fucking buff. Because he can, he can just shake things out of a tree, of a freaking like rock solid tree. Like even I look like this and I can't shake a tree. Ah, I am broke. So nope. Who's here? Tom. How are you doing? Let's visit you again. Oh my gosh, Tom wearing spectacles. That makes him like 1000 times cooler. Or am I? Gahaha. Enjoy. Enjoy a book. You'll enjoy the book I read to you all just now also. Books are good, please. Yeah, books are good. Everyone, it is important to read. Broaden your horizons. Broaden your horizons and don't be afraid to challenge the things around you instead of hiding from it. Where is my furniture tree? Huh? I have shaken this tree already, right? Yeah, I shaken them already. Wait, I'm going upstairs. I am going upstairs. Whoops, okay, done. Money. Where? Okay, where on earth is it? Where on this island is the furniture tree? Why do I have so many remote places? Oh right, because I sculpted the remote places myself. Ah, wait, wrong place. Okay. I hit this rock already. Do I have this bug, by the way? Is it still here? Is it still here? Is it still here? I got you. Okay, yes, nice, got you. Yes, oh yes, I don't have this one. I caught a pure bug. There's a half act to solo. Hi Ichigo, yes, I'm still online, although I'm heading off soon. Just now I did a bit of book reading for the first half of the stream. Now I'm just running around in Animal Crossing. Yeah. Although I may go and sleep soon. Today has been a long day. I am probably running on not enough sleep also. I'm running on a bit of not enough sleep. When I went to my friend's place, I actually dozed off at his place for like 40 minutes or so. Oh yeah, I will be heading off to bed soon. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Oh, by the way, I could ask the same. Now that I think of it, I could ask the same about you. You are still online also. It's time to sleep. All of you here in my time zone, it is way past our bedtime. Please go and sleep. Where else have I not? Where else have I not been? Here? Yeah. I did. But today's book was a more cozy book than last week's, that's for sure. Last week's book had something. Last week's book was, wow. Some of the characters were intense, not gonna lie. There was one with a heavily implied domestic violence and another one with how do I put this? The main character was basically selling intimate services. Yeah, intimate services. And obviously didn't see anything wrong with it. I mean, there isn't anything wrong with it, I guess. From an objective viewpoint, there isn't anything wrong about it. It's just another way to earn money. But I think it was the characterization. It was like yeah, I have to clarify myself a bit here because my mind is a little bit in a fog right now. I think it was troublesome because the character was implied to be like just. I mean, it's not technically. That character wasn't technically underage, but he was towing the line. I think he was towing the line. If I remember correctly, he was towing the line. Yeah. That was quite interesting read. That's really an interesting read. Although when I was reading out on stream, I was like, wait a minute, is this okay? Is this okay to read out on stream? I was like, wait. Is this okay? Oh yes, and then get this, okay, in the story the guy is just plying his services, and guess what? One of the customers is his own father. It's a complicated story. But then like when he walks in and then he's like and then when it's the father, and then the character just and then the father just goes like, whoa shit. What's this? Why is this large shadow such a large disappointment? I feel like I think on the main island there are 2 furniture trees, right? But I can't seem to find one of them. But if I shake this whole bunch and still nothing comes out, I'll just give up. Either I missed the tree already, or I got it wrong and there's only 1 furniture tree. I'm down here. 下来. Okay, done. Okay, you know something, guys? Oh, wait. Wait. What's this item that I got from a tree? It's a floor light. Okay, I see. Nice. This floor light is good for decorating the museum, I guess. The museum. Alright, guys, I am suddenly, the energy crash is coming. Yeah, the energy crash is here. I am going to end the stream. Let's find someone to raid. Let's go find someone to raid. Yeah. Let's go find someone to raid, and yeah, I will just save now. So, yeah, thank you all again for swinging by for tonight's book reading stream as well as some Animal Crossing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, bye, yeah, bye. Suddenly fucking tired, oh my god. Okay, let me go and find someone to raid now. See who is streaming now. Let's see who is streaming now, okay? Okay, I think looking at Twitch now, I think oh okay, I can't really decide who to rate at the moment. I am jumping. Oh, I miss you. Yeah. I was doing a book reading stream earlier and then some Animal Crossing. I am actually going to send you out to another channel like real soon. Like I'm just searching out right now. I'm just searching for someone to rate right now. I haven't decided who to rate yet actually. Alright, no problem. Thank you for swinging by. I'll be here again tomorrow. My schedule is up on Twitter. My schedule is up on Twitter and yeah. Have a good night. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay. Hi JY. Oh my gosh, do you just get here also? Hydrate more, yeah, I will hydrate. I definitely need to hydrate. Oh my gosh. Reading for okay, no problem. Thank you for where's my water? Oh, it's here. Listening to your audiobook. I fumbled, I stumbled on the more complicated words so much. So yeah. Got to look up some pronunciations after, like real soon, like maybe tomorrow or something. Gotta look through and look up some pronunciations. I saw a couple words and I was just like, how do I read this? It's Soothing Sunday. Yeah, that anyway, yeah, thank you. This next week next week we'll do a book or either that or I unleash an ASMR script on you. Or I work on ASMR script and unleash that thing on you next Sunday. Except I can't really ASMR. I don't really have the head mic, so you have to settle for I will see what I can do within my means. But although the key highlight will be that I will probably be doing my own script. Yeah. Can't be too, yeah. So don't worry, I will keep it safe for work, and it will not be sappy AF. And I will try not to make it too sappy. I did look online for a couple of like on and a couple of script examples, but oh my gosh, I look at it, it's like they are so sappy. It is the fan. That's that's more than a script. That's practically someone's like doujin fantasy already. That's someone's doujin fantasy. But yeah. Let's see how it goes. Oh my god, you'll be surprised at the stuff the internet can come up with. Anyway, okay. I still I still haven't found someone to rate. At least you won't be like a stripper story. Oh my gosh, the one from last week, yeah. Oh my god, that was troublesome. That was troublesome. Alright, I found someone to rate. I think I found someone to rate. You all want something chill? If you're talking chill, I was thinking of You Made Me Dreams. Have I rated her before? I rated her before. Have I rated her before? I don't think I rated her recently. She is stream. You made me. She is streaming Animal Crossing right now. Okay, you made me. Okay, yeah, let's go. Please enjoy Animal Crossing. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's a chill Sunday night after all, so let's go. Da, 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 da. Alright, let's go. You made me. Kuzo. Maybe get a lullaby. she I it is afternoon for her, I think. Her Animal Crossing is playing the afternoon music. I think it's about like 2 or 3 a.m. or so in her town. I hear the 2 3 a.m. music in her in on her stream. Da, 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 da. Alright, thank you all for swinging by tonight. Please have a nice chill. I mean, yeah, please have a good week ahead. It is already Monday, 2:36 a.m. for me. So yeah, I will hydrate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I will see you probably tomorrow afternoon. I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon, and yeah, to just get you through your work day. I'll see you. Yeah. Alright, let's go. Let's raid.